quickly take 2 minutes to introduce us and set the context at what this product is all about. In terms of logistics of the call, in case you have any questions, you can raise your hands, and my colleague Teja can pinpoint, and you can ask your question either on text or on voice. And we therefore, kind of take this demo a bit more collaboratively rather than one-way communication. Very quickly, AI with significant experience of deploying strategy consultants and conducting strategic projects here in the Middle East for the last 10 years. And personally, as founders, we have worked in the industry for the last 15 years in total. We have structured an AI workflow that mimics how a strategy consultant thinks. And we are taking this solution across organizations, not just in Middle East, but also outside. Uh, the way we will the way we will go through this demo, you'll be able to experience that how with a simple prompt or with even additional information, that's where our tool gets a bit deeper. So it focuses a lot more on the quality of the content. It focuses a lot more on the authenticity of the data. It tries to pull together because we have made sure the hallucination is close to nil when such serious knowledge work is getting conducted. And for very specific deployments, you will see Marvin is also quite customizable when it comes to branding. And with the new launch, we have structured Marvin as an agentic workflow, which means as agent, you can interact with Marvin and can control any type of knowledge work
Sound is good,
without.
but I don't need to pay attention. It's some demo.
Great. Without further ado, I'll start with the demo. This is how the product looks as of today. So typically, as knowledge workers, as consultants, one of the use cases that we have seen in the market consistently is that there is a problem statement that a business is facing. They put this down as an RFP and sends out in the market in their own network of consultant or to small boutique consulting firms or larger ones, and they ask for proposals. It's quite an exercise that consumes a lot of energy from consultants. Even in the era of AI tools, there's a lot of validation, curation work that has to happen by consultants that consumes a lot of time. So this is one use case that we would like to show you how Marvin tackles it and really simplifies the complete journey. So I'll just pick one of the RFPs. This is by one of the family group. It is all fictitious, so it's been created. Nothing is real over here. So they want to understand the fintech market landscape here in UAE. What's the background of this family office? What's the objective of this RFP, where they would like to identify the fintech solutions they can deploy and understand new emerging trends. Scope of work is they want a complete comprehensive analysis of the market, evaluate technology trends, so on and so forth. So this family office is in the automotive and the property, so they want to consider both the verticals. And the deliverables, as we will imagine, is around a detailed market research report, summary, recommendation on the process improvement, and some kind of in the end, a presentation that they want to use for internal alignment. They have certain evaluation criteria, blah, blah, blah. So all the details, right? So now imagine this is a client that is asking, hey, give me a proposal so that I can evaluate you. Erstwhile, even in the AI tools, it will take you anywhere between 1 to 2 weeks to put down a very, very credible proposal. We will just go through how Marvin will tackle this. So what I will do is I will upload this RFP on on Marvin, and I'll just ask it to create a detailed proposal from the that document. So it will very quickly parse this entire file. It will gain the context of it. It will also understand what you are trying to ask. And what it does is it does two things. First, Marvin has the ability to read from the database or the SharePoint or the Google Drive that you have. It can link, and we are calling it as Vault, which is a data secure vault where your documents are not fed into LLMs or are not stored anywhere else. It can also read through the web data. You can switch it off, switch it on in case you don't want any public sources to come in. But for the purpose of the demo, we'll keep everything on. Once that is done, it also allows you to improve the question that you're asking. It will not rush into getting into the solution. It will try to think what document was there, what the user is asking. It will kind of build a bit more nuanced question or approach, right? For example, in the scope part, it will say, okay, I will create a detailed proposal, ensuring it has clear objectives, scope of work, etc., etc. Should include a section on challenges. And this is editable. You can always add or delete more. So once this is set, it kind of goes into the agentic mode where it will start analyzing what all has been provided. It will start understanding what are the questions that I need to ask as Marvin so that I can create a bit more contextual output. It will not just start creating the deck the way you might have seen it in Gamma, or it will not start creating a proposal outline the way you will see it in ChatGPT or any of the frontier models out there. So, it has read through the file that this is an RFP from some group that wants to understand and procure consultancy services to understand UAE fintech market. It says who is submitting this proposal. So Marvin wants to know this so that they can add some details. If you are your own brand, or if you are a boutique consulting firm, you can upload your document, your profile, your details around it, and it will pick it up from there. What's the name, background? Do you have specific budget in mind? What timeline you want to propose, and any specific approach? So for the purpose, I'll just very quickly write something. I don't know, I'll just say I'm BCG, perhaps a consulting firm um, with significant fintech experience, um, propose, I don't know, 12-week project plan and estimate the budget yourself. So some kind of input. So it will start with these inputs. What it will do, it will start correlating the questions, the file uploaded, and in parallel, we'll also start doing the research on all the public databases. Now, as it puts down the outline of a potential document, we just wanted to also highlight that there are three interesting things that Marvin does in the background. As it starts the research, it will start noting down the sources of the data. We understand that other frontier models like Perplexity or ChatGPT also does that. But what happens, and I'm sure you would have faced something similar in the past, that it might quote, it might hallucinate a number, it might suggest a source, but when you click on the source, you might not find that precise number. So that is something that we have explicitly chased and ensured that something of this sort doesn't happen. Otherwise, a lot of time goes into validating and curating what's getting generated by Marvin or any of the AI tools out there. The second thing that you would have observed in the frontier model is when you are doing some serious knowledge work like this, when they create a storyline, you start to generate that, okay, give me more information on how the slides are structured, can be structured, or can you do some more like research? Can you add some competitive landscape? Can you add this particular player in the market, it then tends to lose what was the overall question. And then you have to kind of bring it back again and again that no, this is the context of the problem statement. This is a proposal that we are building, and this is who the audience is. So that's the second core element we have done. And third is around the branding part, which is this. Since this is a public demo, there are preset themes we can choose from. Even in the language, we have done some integration, especially Arabic, given the region. There have been a lot of strong demand for that. But once the outline is ready, now this is a very modular outline. We can always expand on it. We can reduce it. So, for example, if you see, it starts with introduction of the BCG, right? Who we are, let's say summary. It boils down what's the agenda of the proposal. I want to understand what the client wants, what's the landscape of the market, scope for deliverable, etc., etc. Now, the interesting thing is that this is very modular. You can always, edit this or make it a bit more complex. So we can say, for example, add uh, 3 to 4 slides to cover, I don't know, regulatory aspect of the market, um, uh, key players, and some few major investments. I don't know. Something of that sorts, because that's some of the ask that's there in the proposal. Once you do that, then very quickly, what Marvin does is it'll then start analyzing where to add these components, these additional components. So right now, I guess what you see is 12 slides. We can make any number of slides. We can create 30 slides, 50 slides, 100 slides, like whatever you want. Obviously, higher the number of slides, longer the time it takes, but it does have the depth, and it is extremely modular. You can keep on iterating, keep on changing a particular slide that you want, or a particular page that you want. So for example, if you see here, it says that I will add 3 slides, and this is how I will try to add it. 6 is around the regulatory framework and compliance, some fintech players and major investments. This will shift. So it is taking a call that where does it fit in the story, because of the fine tuning and the fine tuning that we have done. And now it is kind of updating the outline so that we can start to think about the next step, which is generating the document. I'll just give it a few more seconds to complete that step. But another aspect that we wanted to highlight is, uh, as you see the outline getting concluded, it has already started the work of what kind of references it can use and where to put that. So if you can see, the new outline comes, it states where the new slides are. So it's very intuitive in that way. For the purpose of the demo, as we conclude, I'll just say, yeah, generate the doc. You just click on that and start generating some of the pages. So as the document gets generated, there are various points and nuances where we have done significant amount of R&D of what kind of LLM can answer the best. So any kind of questions, any kind of like research, any kind of updates, and as you will see, the document starts to get generated. You will see even the formatting is something that you can control via this agent. You want to change the source of the slide, you want to change how it looks, and that totally depends what kind of library you're also adding to Marvin. Uh, that really increases the depth of it. So it has started to put together something. What you see on the right side is kind of an output window, and left-hand side is this agentic workflow is your canvas. You can interact, you can change, as I was saying. Uh, this entire deck is highly modular. It is shareable as a link. It is downloadable as a PowerPoint or an export to PDF as well. Let's see how things are starting to get in. It tries to generate a clean executive summary. This is just like a summary of the document. For example, wherever it is picking up the information from the document, it does not cite where it is coming from. But for example, these numbers, that market is $5.71 billion and what's the growth rate, it will give you precisely where this number is coming from. So it will restrict and it will ensure that there is zero hallucination so that you're not worried, oh, where is this number coming from? Why can I justify this 12.56% CAGR? This is something that is quite explicitly mentioned, and all the references are also quite validated and curated. So it will not pick it up from a blog post like written by someone. That's not a credible source, for example. So it lays down a very nice agenda page, what this talk will talk about. It will start putting together pages which are a lot more, very in-depth and content heavy. That, for example, in this, we are saying that we'll identify, we'll understand and prioritize the solution that you want and how it impacts your operational efficiency and the investment opportunity. The way we imagine that what are the key inputs of it, what are the like analysis that we will do, and in the end, it will give you, for example, a report. And again, all these numbers that you see over here, especially around funding trends of $265 million, for example, it will be cited closely. So once the context is done, it starts by saying, okay, how do I identify and do the market analysis? What are the components I will do? What's the size, the cable, the hubs, investment policy? It is quite, a very structured way of thinking. And this is one of the major differences you will see that you will not be able to get, say, from Gum, which is, I think, a very incredible platform when it comes to building presentations, but that's very, very, content light, and they have very different objectives and different type of audience. This is like something which is very, very specific to a strategy work or any knowledge work that needs very heavy analysis or references. It starts by some very basic market analysis. It says that this is the regulatory fintech framework, who are the key regulators around, and how do they do the regulation, some compliances approach, and what kind of licensing and topics you need to be careful about. What are the ecosystem, who are the key global players, who are the key local players. It has also given some space where if you would like to put logos or flags or anything specific that you want. So it becomes a very collaborative way of building pages. Talks about the investment landscape, how the VCs are structured, what kind of like revenue opportunities are there, and what kind of investment players are out there at the government level. And then it tries to mimic, it's very funny, it tries to mimic, that this is a BCG six-phase structured approach. So it becomes contextual. It brings you as a user at the center and tries to build the thought piece around it. And all the numbers, again, as you see around trends, industry benchmark, that you see will be heavily and explicitly cited from where it is coming from. Once the work methodology is done, what kind of outputs it can create, it is still generating. Yeah. So that's how, that's how the new version of Marvin looks like. We have ensured that the output is fairly modular and you can use the agentic chat to really control the output. Through this chat, you can change any page. You can say, I want to recreate this, or I want you to add one more page to talk about something else. So it becomes a very, very meta level of controlling the knowledge work that you are building. I will just take a pause till the time it continues to build the remaining pages. But feel free if you have any questions, you can raise your hand and you can pop up the question there till the time we continue. So for example, this page is around the project timeline. I think in the beginning we said 12 weeks. So how would you structure the 12-week project? And then some formats around the team structure, how a typical larger firm will think about it. It has taken some view of what kind of expertise you want, and what kind of project like leadership you can put, and how the on-site team will become. And very soon, Marvin will also be integrated into an expert pool, and all these names will also start to pop up. And as you are also putting down your own proposal, you will always have an opportunity that, yes, these are the 10 more experts that I can talk to. Either it is a proposal work or a deliverable work that you are doing by yourself or in your organization. You will always have access to those experts where you can quickly reach out. Marvin can create an outreach text that you can go and paste and kind of, like go to that expert and start discussing. So that entire journey gets seamlessly integrated on one window. The budget, the project risk management framework, um, and just to be, like just one point I would like to highlight, it tends to take a very generic framework and then it tries to build a very contextual output into it. For example, it is saying that in this proposal, this fintech project, how the risk structure will be looked into, and it tries to map it out in that order. Then what's the, for example, next steps, which is doing this partnership review, finalization, kickoff, which is the usual journey. So yeah, that's the output one can get very quickly. We were also trying to do some comparison of how you have to, if you have to put this out on ChatGPT, where I've uploaded a similar structure and I've asked for it. So without asking questions, like ChatGPT does a phenomenal job in structuring your thought process, but it's a very one-way communication. Yes, you can keep on chatting, keep on editing, but it's just too much of cognitive load and it tends to forget what it was supposed to do. And in the end, it can also, kind of generate a very high-level deck. You can check it out the way it does, but it's only text and not even headlines. We even tried it on Gamma, that we were talking about. I think Gamma again does a phenomenal job when it comes to building very beautiful slides. But even though we kind of uploaded and tried to like reason with it, it still tends to miss. And the priority for Gamma is more beautiful AI like images and context setting rather than doing the search and kind of doing the annotation. This is just one version. I'm sure if you keep interacting, it totally depends at how heavy uh, the request comes. Uh, Perhaps we would like to show you one more thing on this tool. So, for example, uh, as part of the proposal, I look at this page, I find it interesting, and I'll say, I would like to know a bit more details around it. So I can click on this page and I can say, uh, please Add page to talk about uh, major investments in fintech and the investment thesis of uh, emerging funds. Again, I'm trying to work it out with you. It can break, it can try to put down a few things. Let's see. But that's the modularity we are really, really after, because we strongly believe that's how we all really conduct ourselves when we are doing our work, and trying to put down something like credible that really helps. So it says that, yes, I'll add a new slide on major investments. Proposed placement is inserting this as slide 9. It has taken a call that this is where it will be placed after 8, actually, even though I clicked on 7, but it still believes that after this, it will be better positioned as a storyline. This will be the structure of the page and so on. Shall I proceed? Yes, add at position 9. Let's see what it generates. So as it generates the page, one more update. With time, we will also be kind of deepening the framework library. So what you see is just the surface of the templates. It will go deeper and deeper, and it will get highly modular. So very soon you will see that on this particular page, Marvin will ask you that these are the 4 or 5 options that I think is quite relevant to use. And you can choose those frameworks, or you can even say, no, I want some other framework, or I want to use this particular framework of mine. So those are the key areas we are really going deep and really implementing those changes. Um, I think this is the new page, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, page 9. So it talks about, this is the fund strategy, the high ROI versus below par, non-core to core, what's the fit, payments and digital banking, lead sector focus, Dubai accounts for so and so, allocation moves, for example. I think it's prioritized are these segments, creating and targeting Dubai hub, etc., etc. So that can also be changed in a very modular way. And it could be as simple as, for example, if I click on page number 9, I'll say, please change the title of page 9 to an action title that summarizes the slide. The like what we say as vertical logic. Let's see what it does. So obviously you can control the output that you have created through the agent, through Marvin, and you can even go directly into an open editor mode, and you can start making changes here itself. This is highly editable uh, piece of work. You can keep on changing this. Everything is editable the way you will see in a PowerPoint. So here are some, action-oriented titles that you can choose which title you would prefer. So it is also giving you some of the options. So I'll just choose title 2, maybe just kind of update that. If you see, it's trying to make a change on this page, and it will try to make the title the way we want. But maybe, with these smaller changes, it can be much faster to do it in the editor itself. compared to doing it over here. So that concludes our demo for the day. If anyone has any questions for us, we are more than happy to take it up.
You can go to the editor as well, open editor, and uh, how you can change themes. Uh, Within the editor, there's a regenerate option.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So within this editor, so not just in the beginning, there are, as we were saying, there's a theme preset. You can also upload any brand kit that you have. You can pick anything over there. It kind of like reflects there how or what kind of themes that you want it to use. And if you want to change the pages, it's not just that you can do it through agent. You can even within this you can create a new slide and you can like regenerate it over here itself, and you can give it more context. You can attach something that you want explicitly for this page, and it can read through and it can start changing the page, which is how you want to look.
You can present it inside it. There's a presenting option, as well as there's a light mode, dark mode as well for people who are not into dark mode.
Perhaps maybe what we can do is we can quickly take 5 minutes and we can very quickly go over all the features modularly that, this is what this particular feature does and this is where it is located. Maybe like Teja, if you would like to uh, start with the narrative and I can guide like all of us where this particular feature is.
Uh, right. So starting from the prompt page, um, like you have seen that Marvin allows you to improve the prompt, but also in terms of adding context or uploading your own files, you can also connect your Google Drive or OneDrive and directly let Marvin access the documentation from there, so that you don't have to, copy paste content or upload content here. Uh, the other thing is on the agent itself. Maybe you can try it now, Harinder. You can, because it has all the context of the documents and the prepared deck, you can also ask it to do simpler tasks like, create an email for the stakeholders based on this presentation. Um, and we're also introducing a lot more actions from here, so that whatever email draft it creates here, it directly takes you to the email and sends the email as well. Uh, so another uh, action could be collaboration, like bring more people from your team in, if you want to share with them and let them take over the deck, improve on it. You can let Marvin do that as well. And as you can see, because it has all the context, it clearly gave a detailed email, and you can again chat with the agent to revise the email, refine it as you like. The advantage with this agent is uh, we keep introducing these new actions, so that on top of your existing knowledge work or the deck, you can do a lot more right from here, rather than downloading files, copying it somewhere else in ChatGPT or somewhere else and get uh, some other content that you need. You can do all within this agent, and even when the pricing comes in, those agent answers will be unlimited, and there'll be no cap on it. Um, The other thing is on the deck itself. Every time when you want a change, you don't have to change the whole slide. You can pick an element, pick a single statement, pick an icon, and ask the agent to change it. And only that part will be changed. Um, few other things are when it comes to sources. So there's another upcoming feature we're working on. You can always list, uh, give it a list of sources that it always has to pick from. Right now, we put some guardrails in terms of authenticity of the sources, but going forward, you can also have that control of where the data is being picked from, because people who work in finance, they want only SEC documents or some government documents, and they don't want any other public sources. So you can create that guardrail by yourself, and it applies only to you. So it's very customized. Um, few other things that we're trying to do going forward is right now it's just a one format that it's building, that is PPT, but we're adding support for other formats like directly to PDF. Even now you can export to PDF, but it doesn't generate in PDF on the web. So we're adding PDF, docx support, and also just HTML, CSS style output as well, which is which can be uh, much more modular compared to a PPT, which is a little rigid. Um, the other thing we're working on is the general speed of the product. Right now, it takes a while because we have a lot of layers of research before building the slide. So we've made some big breakthrough in terms of cutting that speed down. So the next version will be much quicker. Um, and the most important feature we're working on is, as some of you mentioned in the uh, chat as well, uh, ingestion of your own templates. Right now, Marvin has a set number of slide templates that it uses and reuses. Um, but you can bring your own templates, your own organization templates, or any other library and just dump it on Marvin. And Marvin can go through all the slides, get the context of it, understand where a particular layout needs to be used, and then automatically reuses according to your prompt. Let's say if you have a 40 slide proposal and you want to use that proposal template to create a new proposal for a new client. Then you can just prompt that and add that proposal, and Marvin will regenerate the whole document for the new prompt. Uh, that's that's one of the key feedbacks we got from a lot of consultants and enterprises, and I think that will make a lot of your work easier because I'm sure you've been working on a lot of decks for the past few years, and a lot of the work is repeated, and it's kind of time consuming, and that's where we want Marvin to sit and uh, cut down your time to completion. Um, other than that, we're also uh, trying to open up this agent in terms of API, so that you don't have to come to Marvin to do this. You can even ask, you can even connect your ChatGPT or Claude or other agents to Marvin's MCP, which is a model context protocol. It's like an API that connects to any of your other agents, other chat tools. So when you uh, prompt there directly, Marvin will provide a URL for the deck or work as a research agent remotely, even though you're not in Marvin. I think that pretty much covers it, Harinder. Do you want to talk about enterprise?
Yeah. Yeah. With respect to enterprise, we are working with various organizations for Marvin to be deeply integrated on their data pipes, any of the internal knowledge, shared folders, be it Google Drive or SharePoints, because that's what really powers up the output from Marvin. And if any of the organizations that you believe would benefit from this, please feel free to reach out within your organization or outside. We are spending some quality time with the engineering team and also the strategy teams to really hone down the use cases and make it extremely customizable. With this, we can. I'll
I'd
just
just
like
like
to
to
add
add
one
on
more
more
thing.
things around the enterprise use case. Um, some of the use cases that I just want to leave you guys with that you can think about when you're thinking of Marvin from an enterprise context. Of course, the biggest use case is any firms that has heavy on replying to proposals or creating proposals, whether it's boutique consulting firms or engineering consulting firms, tax consulting firms, so on and so forth. Wherever proposals is like one of the biggest bucket. That's what we are targeting. Apart from proposals, we are also doing POCs where there are cases for performance analysis of key accounts. A typical example is of uh, PropTech platform that has multiple property agents, real estate agents or agencies of that sort. They are on their platform, and these PropTech platforms have to do performance analysis of each of the biggest agencies on their platform and show them how they're doing in one sector vis-a-vis the other sector. For example, how the performance has been in rental space versus off-plan space, etc. So what their offtake is, what kind of change in strategies they can do based on the data that they can read on the platform and suggest it to those key accounts. So this is one use case that we have also automated. Um, Another use case is for SaaS companies where we have enabled them to do a very thorough signal analysis on some prospective buyers. For example, a prospective buyer can be posting on a LinkedIn uh, forum saying that they have recently hired a key executive, like a COO, or they can post that they have opened up a large warehouse. Now that is a very good signal for the SaaS company operating in a logistics software space to say that yeah, this account is much more qualified and I can tailor my approach into reaching out to them. So the sales team, instead of using very generic outreach content, they can tailor the content a lot more specific to the recent events and and do that. So these are some of the examples that I'm just leaving you with. But obviously, there's a lot more that we don't know about. So if you have some ideas where you think Marvin can fit in such cases or some other cases, please definitely feel to reach out to us. Yeah, and open to any questions that you guys have based on the walkthrough that Harninder did and Teja elaborated upon.
So there's been few questions in the chat that I've answered there. Um, I can just reiterate those. So Remco is asking, how do you access this tool? Only through Strategy Connect? No, Remco, it's publicly available. I posted the link in the chat. I'll post it again. It's free to use for now, and yeah, you can directly access it. Sign up directly. One of the main questions I think a lot of people have is uh, how is this different from other AI tools? Um, so Marvin is specifically uh, trained to do a task uh, in a vertical that has very niche thinking, niche domain expertise. So Marvin is trained to do that, while other tools are more generic in terms of their output. That's one. Second is uh, how we cite the data. Whatever file it may be, whatever web source it may be, we're very all the content we're generating is very in grounded and verified. Um, the third is what we're building right now, which no other tool in the market has, is ingesting your own templates. Uh, you can bring all of your existing work and let Marvin take over. I think that's pretty powerful.
I think I can just like go over the other questions as well.
Yeah,
One, Diogo also asked, is the output editable in PPT? Yes, it's editable. You can download the current output in a PPT format or a PDF format. In the PPT format, the output that you'll see is like each of the elements, for example, boxes or frameworks that we have used, they're also editable. So it's not an image that you cannot edit. The frameworks are editable and the content inside the frameworks are editable, which is obviously very important when you're working on presentations. This is a huge difference, and it was already available in version 1.0 as well. But initially, it used to be images, and then the presentation itself was not usable. So that was already covered. And in this version, it's just that the visual library is a lot more robust compared to when we started. Which underlying models are you using behind Marvin? I think that's a bit of a proprietary information, but to answer it briefly, we are using multiple LLMs, and we are on the backend optimizing for the LLM for the stage at which it is being used. For example, in the early stage where you just want to put a prompt and then ask Marvin to improve it, that's a different LLM compared to different parts of where the agent is trying to create more questions, trying to generate the storyline, trying to generate the visual output. So it's a bunch of LLMs that we use. It's not just one LLM. Are there any usage limits on Marvin? Not as of now, since it's an open to public version, but very soon we are going to be paywalling it. What it means is you'll have to pay for certain for the usage, and we haven't decided on what that limit will be, but it'll soon. I think within the next month we'll be able to do that. Finally, when you make changes through the editor, does the AI model take those changes into account and act accordingly? For example, if you change market data on one slide, does Marvin change all the rest of the deck accordingly? That's a very good question. I think this is something that we have been discussing internally, but maybe Teja, you can address it
yeah.
and provide clarity on this.
Right now, it doesn't automatically change the rest of the deck because we still need human in the loop and we need the permission of the user. But you can always ask the agent, uh, point point the agent to that particular slide and say that I've updated these numbers. Now regenerate the rest of the deck accordingly. You know that then it does it automatically. Then that's not an issue. It's just that we don't change anything without the permission of the user.
Cool. Think I think we've answered most of the questions on chat.
Yeah.
If there are no more questions, then we can probably call it a wrap. Otherwise, we can wait another 30 seconds uh, for any other questions that you guys might have.
Yeah. If anyone has any questions after using Marvin, you can always directly email me or ping me on LinkedIn. I'm pasting my email here as well uh, because all feedback is welcome and we want to uh, continuously improve the product.
Yeah, Ramco is again asking about pricing. Uh,
Subscription. Yeah.
yeah, so we haven't finalized on what the model would look like. So I guess it would be very premature for us to do that. But primarily, we are looking at subscription pricing and with some limits on the output. But yeah, I hope that partially answers your question. Remco. All right, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Thanks again, everyone, for joining in. And we look forward to hearing back from you. Please feel free to use the product as long as it's free. We would love your feedback on how it's serving your purposes.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you for your time. Really appreciate it.